This is why I ride a Sportster in 2025, and honestly, you should too. Stay tuned. So obviously I don't have one Sportster, I currently have two. The second one is a little bit crazier how I got that one because I didn't pay nothing for that one. First one's a little bit unheard of. So the year was 2021, I just got married, just had a kid, and yet somehow I still ended up with a motorcycle. Unheard of. You hear the stories the opposite. I had a kid, I had a wife, had to get rid of the bike. But I'm blessed. So year's 2021, this bike only had 52 miles on it. It was a 2020. Previously belonged to an older gentleman who passed away, and his wife sold the bike back to the dealership. I was getting thrown around from Harley dealership to Harley dealership. I mean, nobody wanted to deal with a young 20-year-old who just wanted to buy a motorcycle. No one took me seriously. I kept getting like disrespected, you know what I mean? Like in a sense of, oh, get out of here, kid, that kind of thing. I finally hit up Colonial Harley-Davidson. Big shout out to them if you're in Virginia. They're down near the Richmond area. And my salesman or saleswoman, Devin, dude, she was fantastic. Treated me like a regular person. I was like, finally. And then she had this beauty for me. Of course, it was used, so I didn't have to deal with like the Harley fees that we all know and love. It was a little bit cheaper than a used one, but once you took out all the Harley fees, oh, I'm just in love. I mean, as you can see, I've done so much to this one. If you're not following me on TikTok, you should be, because how I got this one started with a trade series. I had a $5 cheap Amazon ring. I traded that ring for a chain. I traded that chain for an Xbox. I traded the Xbox for a four-wheeler. And I traded for a four-wheeler for this beauty right here in front of me. It is a 2005 883 from factory that has now been converted to a 1200cc and a chain drive. And that brings me to my first reason as to why you should buy a Sportster. The options. You can do so many different things to these bikes, whether you want a cafe racer, a dirt bike, a bobber, if you want to hardtail it, if you want to chop it, you can chop it. Oh, the possibilities are endless with these bikes. And I love that. So much so, with this one, I want to do a 1275 with a turbo. I think a 1275 with a turbo would, one, be so unique, it's ridiculous. And two, just the power it would make a little bit more than that 90 cubic inch. Plus, it has a turbo, a little bit of warm, you know, I don't think it'll actually sound like that, but who knows? We're gonna find out. Not yet, because I'm still up and coming. So eventually we will get there, I promise you guys. And the next thing I love about the customization on it is so much how you can do to it. So obviously it doesn't look the same from factory. It now has a Memphis style fairing, not the actual brand. I'm a little cheap on that. I did a 2-in-1 exhaust on it. Of course, I got these beautiful Viking Bags. Shout out to the great folks over at Viking Bags who sent me over these removable, quick release bags. Like you can just pop them straight off the bike. They're lockable and they have so much room in them. They make road trips so much better than having to carry just like one big backpack. And of course, on the longer road trips, I still like to put a backpack on my sissy bar. Let me reference my notes real fast. So we did, yep, covered that. Now, let's move into the history. Yes, I got my notes out. Let's move into the history of the Sportster. The reason why I love being on this bike, one, the 2020 has an iconic paint scheme from a little bit of a throwback to when AMF.
The other Harley-Davidson's 250cc street bike, built to feel, ride, and look like a classic Harley-Davidson, with Harley-Davidson acceleration, power, durability. If you can't tell it from our big bike, see your AMF Harley-Davidson dealer. Experience the SS250 yourself. Until you've been on a Harley-Davidson, you haven't been on a motorcycle.
Owned Harley-Davidson. They didn't do the best job, but they still owned Harley-Davidson. They saved the company, whether you want to agree to it or not. It still happened. It's the Harley-Davidson in the 2020 paid homage to them, and gave them that classic like bowling alley paint scheme. If we want to flashback, take a trip back in history with me to the year 1986. Times were good. You had T-top Camaros, Firebirds, Pontiac was still around. Beautiful times. And that is also when the Evo was born. The 1986 Evo Sportster became an icon with aluminum parts, modern engineering. Oh, what a time I wish I was alive for. I'm an 01 baby, so I don't know, but I heard it was great. Second thing from history, 1986 to 2006, which this bad boy falls in, was the carb glory days. You had a carburetor, which is easier to tune. Everything was perfect. Something went wrong with it, you could fix it yourself. Not like this one. And of course, 2007 to 21, where my second baby falls in. I should say my first baby falls into, the oldest in my collection. You got so much more tuner capabilities. And what I mean by that is I can actually throw a turbo on this one and be able to tune it into a beast. But natural aspirated sounds amazing. Either way you go, you can't go wrong, and that's why you should be riding a Sportster now. Get you one. It's not too late. Call up your local Harley dealership or your buddy Fred who has one that's been sitting in the shed for the last 20 years. You won't regret it, especially if it's an older one. Put some wrench time into it, you can get it up and running. Last reason? So yeah, after you get done calling up your buddy Fred, go ahead and find another one for your wife, because yes, the common joke is it is a girl's bike. And fun fact about that whole rumor of it being a girl's bike actually started by the dealerships that wanted to sell people more expensive bikes because they knew the Sportster was too good, too much of a bang for the buck. These things are goated, they're legendary. The history on them is incredible. The reason they were the longest production bike for years is for a reason. They are truly incredible bikes and I love them, and anybody can ride them. My 5-foot wife, I'm 6 foot on the dot. My wife's 5'2". I'll give her the credibility. I doubt it. But anyways, she can flat foot the 883, the 05 she can, the 2020 she can't. I don't know, but I know if I drop some springs in the back, she'd be able to flat foot it and everything would be good. They're beginner friendly. Like I said, this is my first bike. Extremely beginner friendly. And then after you get comfortable with it, throw some mods on it like I did. I have an air intake, a 2-in-1 exhaust, and a tune on it. And it has become so much more of a powerful bike, and I'm not even done yet. Like I said, I want to do a 1275 and a turbo that will make this thing an absolute fucking beast of a bike. And I'm so excited for that. And I'm excited to have you guys there for the journey. So that is all my reasons as to why you guys should be riding a Sportster. No matter if it's an older one back in 86 still with an Evo, or if you go before that, or if you go modern. Just don't get the Sportster S. That is not a Sportster. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to subscribe, like, and follow me on all other platforms. I'm actually streaming tonight. You guys probably won't see this tonight, but I stream on Twitch quite a bit. I like to play some video games. I like to wrench on my bike, and I like to nerd out on some video games. Don't judge me, just subscribe and follow for my life so I can do this full time. I would love to eventually be doing like builds and giving them to you guys. That is my whole plan. Guys, my goal is to ultimately be able to give back to those who gave me a platform to begin with. But if you like the sound of that, consider subscribing. Drop a follow on my other platforms. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.